And those trade talks the Bill just mentioned concluded today in Beijing. And while there's some optimism that progress is being made, any deal is likely still a long way off. Eunice Yoon has our report tonight.
The U.S. delegation is on its way back to Washington, but that comes after an unexpected third day of talks. The discussions were supposed to wrap up on Tuesday, but were extended by a day, and the Foreign Ministry today said that shows both sides are serious about the talks. Now, as these negotiations were proceeding, there was another sign of flexibility on the part of the Chinese. Beijing granted approvals for 5 GMO crops, and that paves the way for companies such as Dow DuPont to sell its biotech seeds into China. However, as has often been the case with these discussions with China, people who follow these talks say the move was welcome but long overdue. American companies have been waiting for these approvals for years. And that gets to the core of these discussions. Are the Chinese really willing to go far enough to address American concerns and get a deal done? There are reports that there has been progress, but on the less contentious issues that are easier to resolve, such as greater Chinese purchases of U.S. farm and energy products to reduce the trade deficit. But it appears that there's still not much common ground on some of the tougher and structural problems like forced technology transfers, intellectual property rights protection, and state subsidies for Chinese firms. There's an expectation now that the next step will be higher-level discussions between Trade Representative Bob Lighthizer and Vice Premier Liu He, possibly as early as next week in Washington. For Nightly Business Report, I'm Eunice Yoon in Beijing.